Welcome everyone to our today's lunch talk in the group Cross Connect Your Interests to Grow. And today we have the honor and the pleasure to talk to Suresh Surenthiran. Welcome, Suresh.
Thank you.
It's great to talk to you today on this Facebook Live. And as I already announced, we will talk about technology, about the future of technology, about the future of business and the future of life in general. And you are, you call yourself the masala of technology and humanity. Maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a bit more about you and about the way of thinking that you have. And yeah.
I think when you grow up with a father who are in the tech field, the father is doing multiple things and doing radio, doing sewing machine, repairing cars and electrical works, and so when you grow up in this field, I think you have in your DNA. So what is helping you later, I think, is automatically you become one of one of your dreams are what parents give you and father give you. So you have I think guys, they have a father as a visionary person and a mom as a comfort zone. So that's why I became like this. And then when you come to Europe and you live in Europe, you have all the tools and everything is you can hands-on, and you have a great possibility to touch them. This is accelerate me in a very, very technological paradise. And I used to work for very, very cool bosses, and they pushed me to this level, and they give me a full freedom, and I think they understood what I can, and they pushed me to that direction. That's why I became most of the technology I understand, and I came from the electronic field and radio and television, and build up all these broadcast networks, and then from the broadcast you bring the webcast, so you understand all the coding, all the media, and beyond. And when you are interested in space and nanotech and quantum physics, and then it's a paradise. So it's difficult to define what.
Yeah. So I mean, what you said was you had the support of your managers, your bosses, and this is very important, that you have along your way in your life, that you have really people who understand you and see your potentials and your talents and really can support you. And this is something really, really important.
Yeah.
And of course, a good network as well, where you can connect with people, and this is cool. Yeah. I also had in the future some people, whether professors at the university or people I worked with or for, who really understood what I can and what I could still do, and who supported me and who still support me. So this is very important in life, that you have people, besides parents. Of course, my parents always supported me and still do, even with 41 years. Okay, great. Just to stay with what do you think in the time that we are right now with the COVID period of time and networking? What do you think? What is it? Why is networking important for us? What is your opinion? Because I know that you do a lot of networking, and that was actually how we met each other. It was, I think, if I'm not wrong, it's maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It was at the IKF in Lucerne, in Switzerland, and it was, by the way, the lecture of Roland Benedikter, who is a political scientist, and so
Transhumanism.
social scientists, and the topic at that evening was transhumanism. That was when we met each other, and afterwards with him together we had a very good conversation. So
Yeah.
it was also kind of networking.
And he wanted to with you and me and Sam to make a transhumanism and this topic about film or something like this. And
yeah, we had good conversations, but unfortunately we didn't follow up. I mean, okay, so I must say this guy is a super busy person. So, but at least we had a very good conversation at that evening together, and that's how we met each other in that in that evening.
yeah.
So, again, to the question, how do you network, or what is the point that you see is most important right now when it comes to networking?
Networking, I think we human, we invent the tools to help us, and from the telephone to telegraph and teletext and telex and all those things, and the fax, telefax, and then we came to mobile telephone, and then we come as a smartphone, and at the same time internet, and the telecom connect the networks and human, how we communicate. Before we had a post-internet era, we had a letters, postal service. Post became a telco, and postal and telecommunication, and then become, they separate, keep them separated, and this is now anyway we are all connected, but
and then Steve Jobs came up.
yeah, and this the Steve Jobs part is also very important, not because of Steve Jobs. He had a great vision, so that's the period in CERN. They developed the Tim Berners-Lee. He developed the web and the email. They create how to communicate, and then same time in the US, ARPANET, they create the internet, so the ARPANET networking, and then in CERN, Geneva, the development, the invention of Tim Berners-Lee, they put the browser. There was indirectly Steve involved, because at that time Steve created the computer called Next computer, become a Mac OS X, and that time also the Microsoft was writing a lot of coding. There are a lot of very important people in the back end, and Alan Kay is a very important guy, Gordon Moore, for the Moore's law. I think he used to work for Intel, I guess, and those development happened with the networking. So what we invent the tool to communicate the human values, and not only human, I think every animal or every machines, and we are communicating. And I think
with or without any machines, we have to communicate, right? But the machines are a big tool, because they connect us even if we are not in the same room or not in the same city, country, now on the same planet. But okay, that can change.
I don't want to go in deep into what daily news, what you are hearing. I think in a big picture, as Carl Sagan said, we are made of stardust. So I think if we are made of stardust, the electronics, what we are creating, all the chemical and physical elements, and the human body, and we are all same. We are all made of atoms and all those things. And I don't see the difference in the big picture, the material and the organism and human being. And if we look at the development of evolution, biochemistry, from RNA to become a DNA, from the DNA to the cells, and cells to the brain, in the cells to brain, the humans are in between. So somehow from the stardust to the planet, from the planet to the human evolution is what is happening. We are going to the silicon more slow, the processor speed, exponential growth of the processor speed and the technology. And I don't know, maybe bio digital fusion will happen. So this is the COVID-19 is a little bit showing us a cyborg manifesto from Donna Haraway. Kind of fusion is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pre-cyborg, I think. And what is we are merging with the machine by forced by pandemic, or I don't know whatever we call it. This is helping us to digitalize, but this is not a digital transformation is happening.
No, the digital transformation happened years ago.
Yeah,
People use the
an
wrong
example
terminology actually
in
when
a
they speak about
metaphor.
about digitalization.
You are right. I think you mentioned before Steve Jobs, 1984, 1949. George Orwell wrote the book. Big Brother is watching you. 1984. Mm-hmm. Apple brought a computer, and Apple they create a logo, Apple, and kind of a myth. And from the computer club in Silicon Valley. Somehow they digitalized. When they brought Atari, Apple, and also later IBM with the Microsoft, when they brought the computer to the living room, I think that the digital process started. And then mm-hmm. from internet connected networks, there is a communication started, and the human being forgot to use the tool. As a Picasso take the brush, it's a tool, and he painted. Mm-hmm. And Michelangelo, he paint with the brush. Is it the technology? Then an example, I don't like to name drop anyway. If you take Adobe Photoshop or whatever painting software, or the Mac Paint or Microsoft, they also mm-hmm. have a paint. You create a digital painting. So, and I think these are the transformation process we are always doing. And when we talk about digital transformation, people are so afraid, but the COVID-19 helped them to go to the kind of a jail of human inside the living room or your toilet or kitchen or whatever you have to do. Today, CEO, they have a meeting and their kids are playing around them. So we are merging work-life balance in seamlessly, no? And this is the communication in a very in a big picture, very cognitive way is happening. So yeah. when you look at the book Life 3.0 from Mark Tetmark from MIT, those people, what they wrote the book, I think now this is happening. Is I don't think this is something artificial. I think as how we made out of
people are learning to use these tools, because before they refused or they thought, okay, they don't need to, but now they are forced to use it. Also the companies who refused to allow working remotely from home, and now they have to, because otherwise they are in big troubles. So I think that COVID-19 was a big push to push us forward into using these already existing technologies or tools.
Accelerator.
Yeah, it was an accelerator, exactly.
Is good or bad? A certain company, they try to benefit of this situation. I think they try to sell certain software collaboration tool as your educational tool or corporate communication or whatever.
Which is good.
I don't know. I think there are other things we have to do. Today we have API management system. You can connect any kind of tools. I think people the engineers has to rethink, and in a company organization from CTO, CFO, all those people has to rethink how you connect systems and protect the people privacy and security. Our privacy is very, very important. That is, since cyberpunk exists, the people who are thinking about humanity, like John Glummer and those people from Sun Microsystem, they made an email list. And so those people help us to make our privacy. Today, you can call it digital transparent, whatever. You're living in the living room, your cameras are open, your microphones are open, so everybody can listen. The hackers or someone can listen from your living room or your bedroom or your toilet. They can listen to you. I think this is, in a way, is cool, but human has to learn the value of the human value, that we respect privacy and security. This is very important.
Yeah.
And this is, we have to be really careful. So the communication, and we have to communicate in a very, very respectful way. Yeah.
And what do you think when it comes to security? What can each and every one of us do to protect themselves? I mean, there are some people who don't care about that, who say, okay, anyway, everything that I do, everyone, it doesn't care, because hackers are everywhere. But there are also other people who say, okay, for me, my safety and the protection of my data and information, this is important. What can they do?
There are a lot of, if you search for cyberpunk, they recommend how to protect yourself. Firefox, Mozilla Foundation, they give VPNs, and they give a lot of privacy things. They advise a lot. People should first take care about their privacy and security, because you have to protect yourself, because we are human. We always want to benefit from other people. It's been always happening. If I would be Google, I would collect data, because data is new oil. So why should I not collect? But if Microsoft or Apple say they don't give the data away, the data belongs to private people. This is a very good policy, and I think Google is joining the Apple way. But if you are Facebook users, you have to use the data. But we have to decide which kind of price we want to give our data. And also at the companies who are collecting data, they have to also rethink everything. You have to be paid. If you are a musician and when you play, you have to live, you have to earn your money. I cannot give my music free or my film free. But as a certain things, you can decide yourself. This is, I want to contribute to community. That's why we have Wikipedia and those organizations. So you support those organizations to give the free, or there are commercial version of YouTube. You give the, but you have to ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. So everything what you communicate, we always communicate. All right. In German, I know that man kann nicht kommunizieren.
Man kann nicht kommunizieren. Paul Watzlawick.
Yeah, so this is happening right now in a digital format.
And what do you think in the future? How, because you mentioned before that the keywords cyborg, and we were talking very shortly, briefly about transhumanism. What is your view on that topic?
My view, I think, in a positive way, I'm saying, but I don't talk about privacy or if everything. If humans are in a good way, the technology enabling us to live in a very good ways. That's mean we are nearing 5G networks. This enable us to communicate seamlessly. And then Wi-Fi 6 is coming. This is speeding of the wireless LAN router. And at the same time, we have also in the cable sector more and more fiber channel networks. So we are building the planet Earth in a digital format. We are living in the double planet. One is an analog planet, other one is a digital planet. But the digital is just a human invention of the language we invented. It's a code written by Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky was a grandfather of the modern language. So today we have a coding. Who are the coders? They should know Noam Chomsky. I also is one of my visionary person. We are Noam Chomsky and me, and we are friends, but he doesn't know I'm his friend. So,
it's a great friendship.
so
Maybe you should let him know.
Noam Chomsky helped us to write a new modern language. That's why we have all the artificial intelligence, all the software based on his semantic language structure. So at the same time, when you look at that, the Noam Chomsky is also a political activist, and he's MIT emeritus professor, and he do a lot of books, and he is also free movement. And so I think we need those people, very important, that they are contributing in our life, good things. We are human, we are free. And coming to your question, what is helping? So we are nearing IoT device, Internet of Things, Internet of Everything. So we can implement chips to observe our health. Is then insurance company going to violate your privacy or not? This is the other framework. And the governments, they should transform themselves. They need a lot of digital expert in the parliament to advise the government. They have to do as soon as possible. And it's a very, very important that a neutral organization observing all the frameworks, all the protocols, and all the networking. And we cannot send people, only lawyers and I don't know, a business organization to the government. We have to have a real representative that they are representing the digital things.
Yeah,
Things is nothing new. It's already exists long time. So.
Yeah, but I think this point that you mentioned, this is very important, that the governments, I'm not really sure that how prepared the governments in different countries actually are when it comes to innovation and about technology and about all these movements, because it will have, all of these things will have a big impact of the businesses and also on the lives of the people who are living in the countries, in the different countries. And I think that on the one side, on the legal side, there needs to be defined new rules on the one side, how to behave with, for instance, with the privacy, with different from different perspectives. There are a lot of things that will change that are absolutely new comparing to, let's say, 10 years ago or 5 years ago. And I'm not really sure if our governments, and no matter where, if they are really prepared and if they really know what they are talking about. I always remember this interview that Mark Zuckerberg had in the US, and the questions these politicians asked him, that showed that they really had no clue. And I don't want to go into detail about that problem at that time, but it's very important that something happens. And
and come back to communication. And Geoffrey Hinton, he was the grandfather of the neural networks, and he is a British Canadian who used to live in US, and he moved to Canada back. Canada is contributing a lot of things in neural networks. So if we look at in a positive way, Geoffrey Hinton and Nick Bostrom from Oxford University, he wrote superhuman books about, and they also worry about the artificial intelligence is going to take over human behavior. And that's mean if artificial intelligence is going to take over, before they already very, very carefully warning us before I go to that, and we human being, I think my personal view, we are the wrong model for artificial intelligence. When we teach the AI in our way, I think we are going to destroy ourselves, and the machines are going to take over if the biological intelligence and artificial intelligence is going to merge, and then artificial general intelligence we expect 2045, and the technological singularity will come.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are from cyborg to transhumanism process will happen in these things, and we are pre cyborg, and we become a cyborg with the new technology. There is a 5G network, 6G networks are coming, and um, 2040 we have a 7G network. I believe that 8G will be here in a wireless spectrum, and fully automation, and big corporations are helping the artificial intelligence networks. So we are going to be a post-human era, 2040, 2045.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to collaborate with the machine in a good way, we have to change our behavior. COVID-19 help us to rethink the humanity, to communicate in how to collaborate with the human being. Today we care about
Yeah.
we care about nature, but at the same time we are paying our pain to live. A lot of jobs are losing, but I see only positive things, that jobs are, we are not losing all the jobs, we are going to create new jobs. So if we are very conservative, if we think that we have to go back to old world, the COVID-19 help us to change, think about new world. So we have to participate in a positive way, to communicate and networking together, and to rebuild our planet, and rethink about humanity,
Mm-hmm.
and also rethink about future of work.
Yeah.
So
I think one thing that you mentioned is, I mean, in general, I also think that we have to question all these topics around transhumanism and cyborg and all these things. It's not something that we say, okay, I like it or I don't like it or I accept it. It's something will happen. We have to question them, and we have to think about our behavior. And the other thing that I wanted to mention just is, you said, of course, a lot of people will lose their jobs, but also a lot of new jobs will be created.
yeah.
But the problem behind this story is, let's say, someone who has not a, let's say, high education and loses the job, is not necessarily able to take over another new job which maybe needs much more education. And and this is a gap that the society and also in the politics, we have to think about it,
I don't think
because there is no solution yet for that gap.
I don't think is people are born dumb. We are all intelligent.
That's right.
I think our education system is bad. We still in the Greek system,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we had to rethink. We had to use the tools, and we have to distribute. There are new operating systems are coming. Unix is they are doing a distributed operating system. Huawei on the way, they are working on it. Google is working on the distributed operating systems. So this is the way also we have to use the network to do the network of our brain cells with the other people. You can call anyone, anytime, in any planet. So that means we become a multi-planetary species very soon. And at the same time, we have
Do you think so? I'm not very sure that we will.
we will. And I
We
believe,
will see or not. I don't know.
and I want
I
to
don't know
die.
if I will see it.
I don't want to die on this planet. I would like to die somewhere else, and that would be super cool. And we are not dying; we are transforming ourselves and transcending ourselves. So the transhumanism is on the way. So what I want to say exactly, that we have to use all the tools. We have to change the education. Education should be disappear in a different format. It should be a distributed way. And today, edX and Khan Academy, all those people are giving you a lecture, and all the top university, they are giving you a lecture, and you can learn anytime, any devices in any places. So you can learn from kitchen, toilet, or in park, or hiking, or whatever. You have. We have to use the tools. Tools are here to help us, and we have to learn. I think we had to learn humanism.
That's right. That's a very good final sentence. It was, as always, very interesting, Suresh, to talk to you. And I'm looking forward to our next conversation. Maybe not on Facebook Live, but maybe while drinking a coffee. I think soon we can do that again. Thank you very much, Suresh, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, we have to see if we have any comments. If there are any questions, you can comment your questions, and then Suresh and I, depending who can answer to that, we will come back. So thank you very much again, and have a great day, Suresh.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.